self-proclaimed greatest host, Kyle Masters, and every week right here on, well, not every week, I'm thinking about the lowdown, but right here on How to Book, I am joined by my co-host. He is the blissful boss, Mr. Corporate himself, Cooper Cappy.
We gonna blow your mind. Oh, wait, that was last year. Sorry.
Dun, dun, dun,
That was last year's Royal Rumble, which turned out to be a complete, utter shit show.
Yeah, and we're hoping that this year is not going to be the same this time around. We're hoping for a different outcome, maybe someone we actually like for the Royal Rumble. But this is How to Book, and if you guys don't know what this series is, we sort of bring this up once in a while and trying to get it going again. Basically, it's how myself and Corporate Cappy would book the Royal Rumble instead of WWE's bookings. There's some stuff we agree with their booking, so we'll say we agree with that booking. We keep that same match. And there's other matches that we do change, and we tell you how we would book it and how we would book the feud and how the match would go down at Royal Rumble. So that's what we're going to do for Royal Rumble. And stay tuned. We're going to have a special How to Book. It's not going to be the same way, but it's going to be coming up soon. It's going to be how we would book the road to WrestleMania from here until WrestleMania, how we would book the certain matches on that card, and so on and so forth. So that's coming up, but this is How to Book Royal Rumble, guys. So thank you for tuning in, and thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for following us on Twitter. Everything helps. We definitely do appreciate all the love from you guys. And we appreciate if you just follow or tweet this out and share it with your friends and share it with your social media, everything like that. Just everything helps.
We don't make any money off this shit, so
no. Just doing it for your enjoyment and our enjoyment, because we love doing this as a hobby. Love doing this stuff. But How to Book Royal Rumble. Welcome back, How to Book. And here doing the Rumble, there's some matches that we did keep. There's some matches that we did change, like I said before. Apologize for my voice. I'm still feeling under the weather. I'm in the last stages of this cold. Thank God it's going away, so I apologize if I do sound a little bit hoarse on this episode, or if I do cough a lot. We'll see what happens when we get down into the episode, but I'll be all right. I think I can pull through. Good thing we're doing this offline. But we have the order written down here.
Oh yeah, get the notes.
We have the notes. We're going to start with the pre-show, then we're going to go into the tag team for each brand, SmackDown and Raw. Then we'll go to the U.S., IC, WWE World Heavyweight, Universal Championship, Women's Royal Rumble, and we'll finish off with the Men's Royal Rumble match. So let's just jump into it and get in the pre-show. I'm going to open my notes up here. And now we would book the pre-show. We have some both different for the pre-show, so we don't have the same here. I have the Cruiserweight Championship as the pre-show. Unfortunately, it is booked as Enzo Amore and Apollo Crews. I was going to say Apollo Crews. It's Enzo Amore and Cedric Alexander at this year's Royal Rumble. I'm going to keep it the same way. I think literally it's only Cedric Alexander that's the clear-cut number one contender right now, because it's literally their main focus on 205 Live other than TJP and Grand Metalik. So it looks like this is finally going to come to an end here at the Royal Rumble, and I'm going to keep the match the same. So I will keep Enzo Amore and Cedric Alexander, and I will have them wrestle in the pre-show where I'm guessing it should be, and that's where I would put them, because there's not enough build for it right now to be on the main card, so I would throw them into the pre-show. And my co-host has something different for the pre-show. Let's listen to what he's got to say about the Royal Rumble pre-show.
I have just basically going off what I'm probably going to do for the SmackDown tag titles. I have the pre-show match between New Day versus Rusev Day. So the Battle of the Days.
Oh, Battle of the Days.
And it's a number one contender match for the SmackDown tag team titles. So a pre-show match that actually means something between two teams for once.
Okay.
So I would book, because I think Rusev Day has so much momentum right now that you have to keep them in the picture somehow. And I think it would be a big way for them to get over would be to beat New Day here to become number one contenders for the SmackDown tag team titles.
Okay.
So that's how I would book the pre-show, and a good quality pre-show match, unlike they usually do with just, some thrown together crap that no one cares about. Actually have it mean something. So that's how I would go with that. New Day versus Rusev Day, number one contender match.
And New Day do have a history of having good pre-show matches, so this could end up being a really good pre-show match. And I would definitely predict for your case that they would be extremely over, especially with the Philly crowd, man. They're probably going to go nuts for Rusev Day if that ever happened. But
and I think both teams deserve to be on the show as well. Like, even though they're not in the tag team title picture, they're both doing great work. And I think that it would be a good way to open the show and get the crowd hype, obviously. New Day is ever popular, and Rusev Day is way over right now. So I think it would be a good way to get the crowd into it.
So that is our pre-show matches for the Royal Rumble. The real one is sure to have more than one, but we are going to book it as one because who really actually wants to sit there through an hour and a half, 2 hour pre-show and watch more than one match in a pre-show when they really don't mean anything to the actual card itself? So we're going to book it one match at a time. So we'll move right into our next one, and that is the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. I believe we kept the same with this one.
that was one of the matches we actually agreed with, Road Dogg and Kevin Dunn's bookings, whoever the hell books this show. The Gable and Benjamin feud versus the Usos 2 out of 3 falls, which has actually I'm actually looking forward to that.
It's been a good feud. It's been actually a really, really good build thus far for that tag team feud, and I really enjoy the work we got out of the Usos as always. Gable and Benjamin have definitely come to their own here in
as this new heel tag team.
Yeah, as this new heel team, which is weird against a team like the Usos, who are literally heel, but they keep getting this babyface reaction. And it's been lately. It's been like, are they actually heel? Like, we can't tell. Like to me,
it seems like they've been going more tweener lately.
And even in their promos, it's like you can't really tell. Like, are they full on heel here? It's literally they're on the fence. So it's interesting. I still like the Uso character. I hope after this they don't actually switch over to babyface, because the last thing we need right now are some babyface Usos.
Oh, we already saw that for years.
Yeah, that's definitely something we don't need. So we both agree with that 2 out of 3 falls match, and the way they've booked it, we're going to go 100% agree with there to be here. Something that we don't do a lot.
2 out of 3 falls, something different. I'd like that it's because the way the storyline's been going, Benjamin and Gable have been getting cheap wins, so I think the Usos are kind of saying, okay, well, I bet you can't beat us twice like that in the same match. So I like the 2 out of 3 falls stipulation.
I'm predicting a really good match out of this here. Like I'm thinking it's going to be a really, really good match. I'm not going to give my prediction because we'll probably do one for the Royal Rumble. But I would hope that Usos would continue as the champions after this. That's all I'm going to say. We'll move on to the Raw Tag Team Championship, and I think I have something different. Yes, I do have something different. And I think you agreed with me with this one. And that is Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan are scheduled to face The Bar at the Royal Rumble for the Raw Tag Team Championship. But we're changing it up a bit here. We think that it should be the Club instead of The Bar for the Raw Tag Team Championship. The Club is getting so much momentum right now, getting back together with Finn Balor. They're really making them a main focus. That's why I don't get why they're doing the Club versus Seth Rollins. And I know it's a different partner, but I know it's Jason Jordan, but we've seen this too many times before since SummerSlam. We've seen this over and over and over again. Like, how many times do we actually have to see this go on? So we think the Club would be a different dynamic and definitely something they should change things up a bit, especially going on the road to WrestleMania. I think we both agreed that the Club definitely deserves a title shot right now.
Well, especially now with the whole Balor Club getting back together, it's finally getting, us invested in the Club again, which hasn't happened in a very long time.
Mm-hmm. And I think it makes more sense that they would be the ones to go after the tag team titles rather than the Bar. Like, we've seen this, and
again,
many times.
We've seen that 6 months in a row. We've seen Seth Rollins with either Jordan or Ambrose against Sheamus and Cesaro. Like, as much as I like those teams, not Jason Jordan, but Ambrose and Rollins against Cesaro and Sheamus, we don't need to see that for 6 months on end. There are other tag teams that deserve a shot to go up there and get at least a shot at the belt.
And in this case, we think it's the Club because I think it makes sense towards what they're doing on TV, because you can't just bring back the band back together and do nothing with it. I think they have enough momentum now to go into the Royal Rumble for the tag team titles. So that's how we would book it. We definitely don't agree with the booking that they're doing right now. We do not think the Bar deserve another title shot. They've had way too many chances at this, and we've seen this match way too many times, so we would rebook it as the Club. I kind of would have Jason Jordan cost Rollins here their championship belts for being maybe too cocky.
Yeah, I see him doing something stupid and costing them the titles.
And the club taking advantage of it and then winning the tag team titles. Like, they're not the baby faces here, but they still pull off a dirty upset. Like, they take advantage of Jason Jordan being a dummy and then winning the titles here, and then it gets Rollins to turn on Jason Jordan or something like that. That's how I would book it.
And it leads to a feud with Rollins and Jordan, maybe. Yeah. I don't know. But I think the club, if we were to book it, I think they deserve the titles right now with the momentum that they're on. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. You don't want to halt that, especially with the Balor Club being back together. And I really think I'm going to get in my prediction later. I think Finn Balor needs to do something as well. Like, I think the whole club needs to kind of take over Raw.
That'd be sick. I would love that.
We also didn't give our predictions for the Gable and Benjamin match.
Oh yeah, that's right. Shoot.
Well, obviously it's going to a third fall. I mean, when the hell does a 2 out of 3? When ever does a 2 out of 3 falls match go to actually? It doesn't go to 3 falls.
I picked the Usos.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick Usos to retain as well. I think they're too good right now to get the titles off of them, and I think Gable and Benjamin might get another shot down the road. But I think the Usos need to hold on to the belts here, especially if the Raw Tag Team titles are switching hands in this case, with what we booked.
Mm-hmm. Now with this next one, things took a drastic change this past Tuesday, which really screwed my notes up. We're getting into the U.S. title now, and honestly, all signs pointed towards this ending at the Royal Rumble. Like, the finals of this tournament would be at the Royal Rumble. Then the rumors came out before the SmackDown, so that the tournament was going to be, the finals were going to be next week on SmackDown. They all of a sudden just had the finals this week, and they already crowned a new U.S. champion. And then it's Bobby Roode. I would have done this differently.
And they rushed it, too.
Yeah. They really didn't need to do that. It was really definitely a creative mistake. How I would have booked it...
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
I would have booked it at the finals at the Royal Rumble.
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say. It should have been, the finals of the thing should have been at Royal Rumble. That would have made it a lot more, meaningful.
And I think you should have done something where the stipulation would have been added no disqualification, which would kind of help Jinder in this case. And this would lead to him picking up the dirty win over Bobby Roode with the Singh brothers and beating Bobby Roode for the U.S. Championship. And I think that I would have went in that direction. As much as I don't like Jinder, and you guys heard me on this podcast before what I feel about Jinder Mahal, I would have went in the direction of booking Jinder at the Royal Rumble to win the U.S. title in the finals of the tournament. I do not agree with what they did in putting the title this early on Bobby Roode. It really makes no sense. It loses the prestige of that U.S. title, and even to have Bobby Roode with his first WWE championship, like, it doesn't feel right. They rush these things. They really don't need to rush them. So they really dug themselves into a hole and shot themselves in the foot with this one. But how we would book it is we would have the finals at the Royal Rumble, and I think my partner here would probably agree that Jinder should win at the Royal Rumble as well.
What an anticlimactic thing to have Bobby Roode win his first title on SmackDown. Like, it was just like a random SmackDown. It didn't even it wasn't like it was a special SmackDown or anything. And then they had the semifinals and the finals in one night. Like, they just rushed through the whole thing. Like, why wouldn't you want to build that up? To me, it made no sense.
It was, again, it's another case. We say it time and time again on this podcast that WWE loves to quick-fire things all the time. We've seen the case over the past year with the Charlotte streak, and among other things. I can't really think of anything that come top of my head, but they rush all these things that they don't need to rush for no reason at all.
What else did they really rush? Didn't they rush, or we were hoping they weren't going to do Styles and Nakamura. I think that's what we were saying.
It's just, but they need to sit back and really double think some of these decisions. The decision that they made this week was really, really terrible, and they should have booked it how we would book it. The finals at the Royal Rumble would have made more sense.
Yep. Again, they don't like these slow burns. They love to fucking put the gasoline on it and light the fucking match and just have it go ba-boom in 2 seconds.
And if they made Jinder champion, I would have been less hate on it. But the fact that they made Bobby Roode this week the champion, no. That was really a terrible decision.
Because now this all signs point to Bobby Roode losing it to Jinder now.
Yeah.
Because now Jinder's got to come back and get the win. And he should have won it from the beginning, and then have Bobby Roode as the babyface chasing Jinder and then him overcoming Jinder in the end for the title.
Now when he beats Bobby Roode, like, it's gonna mean, like, it's just gonna take Bobby Roode down a notch. Like, it's not gonna mean anything anymore. Like, if they have their rematch at WrestleMania, like the rubber match, and then Bobby Roode wins it from WrestleMania, it's like, we already seen this before. We already seen him beat Jinder before. It doesn't mean the same thing anymore.
Yeah, for a guy like Bobby Roode of his caliber, his first title win should be massive, and it should be somewhere meaningful, not a fucking random SmackDown Live in the middle of bumfuck. I don't even know where they were in the States this week, but like Cricketville was basically where it was.
Yeah.
To me, like, Bobby Roode would have got a huge reaction. Even if they had him win it at Royal Rumble, it probably would have meant more.
Mm-hmm.
If you were going to rush this tournament and have Bobby Roode win it, why not do it in Philly? They would have popped for that.
Mm-hmm.
They made the entire episode of SmackDown this week based around the U.S. title and rushing through that. It's like they just wanted to get it over with.
And made no mention of their main feud on that show, which is really, really weird. I don't know what the hell was going on with that, but
yeah. So yes, I would book Jinder, Bobby Roode, no DQ, and have Jinder win, and then have Bobby Roode chase him down the road and eventually win that title sometime, in the road to WrestleMania.
Yep, I would win it at WrestleMania. That would mean a lot more. Bobby Roode's first title win should have been at WrestleMania. They really killed any momentum they had with Bobby Roode now. And they did the same thing with Shinsuke. Like, they really, I don't know what the hell is going on, but if I was Triple H, I'd be losing my shit. I'm sure that's not a way he'd want to be booked. So.
Yep. And again, Jinder getting a cheap, dirty win with no DQ with the help of the Singh brothers just makes sense.
Yep. So we'll move on here into the Intercontinental Championship. I actually have this one not booked on the Royal Rumble card. So I'm going to let my co-host here take over here and how he would book the Intercontinental Championship for the Royal Rumble. I left it off the card, so that's how I would book it. And now I'd have the Intercontinental Champion Roman Reigns be in the Royal Rumble because we all know he's going to be in there some case. Mm-hmm. I just don't want to see him have a match again and then be in the Rumble again for 2 years in a row. I wouldn't book it that way.
Well, usually what they do is they usually have the mid-card guys in there even after they had a match earlier in the night for, the U.S. or IC title. But if you choose to leave it off, that's fine. But I would book it, with the contingency of Samoa Joe not getting hurt. I would have had Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe for the Intercontinental Championship. And I would have had Samoa Joe win the Intercontinental Championship because I think Samoa Joe is one of the most deserving guys of a title right now on the entire roster. Mm-hmm. The dude's just, every time he talks, you listen. Every time he does something, it's meaningful. Roman Reigns adds nothing to that Intercontinental Championship. And we all know the path they want to go down with the champion versus champion bullshit crowning of dual titles at WrestleMania with Reigns and Brock Lesnar. But I would break that and stop that completely by having Joe win the IC title and being able to elevate that Intercontinental Championship since, the Universal title is never defended on TV. I think Samoa Joe as the Intercontinental Champion, which is basically the main title when Brock's not there, I think he'd be a great person to, bring that Intercontinental Championship and actually have it mean something again.
I think all signs were pointing towards Joe and Reigns facing each other at the Royal Rumble, maybe with The Miz, maybe make it a triple threat. So that sucks that when Joe got hurt, that unfortunately he has to miss the Royal Rumble again this year. So that sucks. He was literally supposed to be the surprise entrant last year. Now he's going to miss the Royal Rumble this year for actually being on the main roster. So guy's not having any luck around Royal Rumble time so far in his WWE career. So
he's
sucks.
Getting older now because Vince had to bring him over 5 years past his prime, even though he's still amazing.
Yeah. But that's how Cobra Cappy would book it. I like it.
I
really like that booking.
Go over on Reigns because I think Joe really deserves to have the mid-card title right now, a lot more than No Man Gaines does.
No Man Gaines. So we'll move on here to the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match. I think we both have a different booking for this, so I'm going to go first here and how I would book the WWE Championship match. I would not have it. So the championship match written down for the actual show right now is AJ Styles defending his title in a handicap match against Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, or how AJ Styles put it this week, Cammy, which is like, I don't know why they made him say that. Really, it made me cringe. I don't know why they booked him to say that. Anyways, but That's what they have it booked now. How I would book it, I would have it AJ Styles versus Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens versus Shane McMahon in a fatal 4-way match for the WWE Championship. Now, this is why, now listen to me, this is how we get it done. The feud leading into this should have had Shane booking himself into the match after Daniel Bryan made it a triple threat match, and basically Shane's saying, no, like I already know what's going to happen. It's going to be Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens teaming up on AJ Styles, and then Shane booking himself in the match so something like that wouldn't happen and kind of be the mediator, but also be in the match. And then Daniel Bryan, they can have like an argument saying like Daniel Bryan's like you're basically taking away from the talent here. This is the show laying opportunity, not laying up opportunity for the people that are behind the scenes. Daniel Bryan doesn't like the decision so much, so he books himself as the special guest referee for this fatal 4-way match. So we have all parties involved here. And then eventually there would be a huge spot involving Shane taking out either Owens or Sami Zayn in the match. So they both are taken out, and then that would lead AJ Styles to win and retain on whoever was left over in the match and win the WWE Championship and go on to WrestleMania. And that's how I would book the WWE Championship match for the Royal Rumble.
You'd have Styles retain somehow?
Yes.
Now, would there be some kind of deception between Daniel and Shane McMahon in this match?
Yes, it'd be early on before this big spot where like Shane looked like he would have the match won, and then Daniel Bryan stops himself before the 3 and says, no, we're not having it this way. And then Shane's like, look at me, you got to pin 3. You're the referee. You put yourself into this match. You know, they kind of have like a pushing match or a shoving match. But then, like, Daniel Bryan doesn't disqualify Shane, but even though there's no disqualification fatal 4-way, but you know what I mean. There definitely would be some of that before this huge Shane spot, which I'm not saying Shane's gonna like take himself out so he's like gone for months on end. I'm saying just a normal, typical Shane spot, like a coast to coast or like a off the turnbuckle through the announce table thing, something that he can get up from the next day. So nothing too hard, nothing too hardcore, like jumping off the Titantron or something like that.
Yeah, well, you know, if Shane's in a match, it's gonna be an elbow drop off a top rope onto something.
Yeah.
So
that's how I book it.
I could definitely see something like that, especially with the way that the feud is going between Shane and Daniel Bryan. I like that.
So how would you book it?
Mine's kind of a little bit less anticlimactic. Mine's AJ Styles one-on-one with Sami Zayn for the WWE World Title. And I would have Kevin Owens inadvertently cost Zayn the match by, you know, trying to help him out and ends up screwing him over. Or maybe they do a spot where KO tries to hit Sami, ducks, or tries to hit Styles, he ducks, hits Sami instead, and Owens retains. Either way, Owens would retain the title. And obviously, Sami Zayn would start to think like, okay, Kevin Owens tried to screw me over, you know, intentionally. And then I would start the Zayn and Owens feud leading up to WrestleMania.
Okay. I like that. I like that a lot. I like that. I want to see an AJ Styles one-on-one match with Sami Zayn, to be honest, especially for a championship. I think these guys can put on a really good match together, especially one-on-one. I like the end result, where it's Owens causing Sami Zayn the... Not inadvertently, but like literally by accident. But then, you know, Zayn kind of thinks otherwise, and then, you know, that creates the tension for the start of their feud together. I like that. I really like that the ending to that.
And again, who doesn't want to see a Styles and Sami Zayn 20-minute match?
Yeah. And if Owens and Zayn ever face each other again, like, who doesn't want to see that? These guys, we've seen them put on epic matches after epic match. Every match that these guys have had together have been amazing, so I'd be all for seeing them again anyway. So,
especially
like watching Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne wrestle each other again. I'd watch those guys rematch each other forever.
Yeah, so. I do think at some point they have to get them both off the same brand, though.
Yeah,
we need to stop. We need to stop seeing them together at some point.
Yeah,
but I think a one last match at WrestleMania between Owens and Zayn would be awesome.
So that's how we would book the WWE Championship, ladies and gentlemen. Now we'll move on into the Universal Championship match.
Yeah.
We both have different opinions on this, I think, again. So I will go first again. I would book it Braun Strowman versus Brock Lesnar, just one-on-one. Meaning taking Kane right out of the match, because he doesn't need to be anywhere near the Universal Championship in 2018. Yes, you heard it right. So one-on-one for the obvious reasons why I would do this. These two can build a feud the same way they've been doing it now without Kane. Literally, they could have been doing the same exact shit. Like, why does Kane need to be in this? You just think about what they've been building so far. Just take Kane out of it. It's the same feud. You could have done the same exact shit. That's what they could have done. That's how I would do it. I would have a small tease of Paul Heyman kind of turning on Brock Lesnar, maybe building up Braun Strowman a little bit, saying like, like I'd be the guy, like you need a manager like me to manage a beast like you, and kind of like tease it a little bit, but not too much. They would have a one-on-one match at Universal for the Universal Championship at Royal Rumble. This is what I would have done in the match, though. I would have a returning Samoa Joe interfere in the match and cost Lesnar the championship. Meaning Braun Strowman would pin Brock Lesnar, but it wouldn't be in a way that make Brock Lesnar look weak. It would be a interference from Samoa Joe and costing Brock Lesnar the championship. And this leads into my storyline for booking the road to WrestleMania, which we'll get into in the next episode of How to Book. So that's where I'm going to leave this at there. And I would have Braun Strowman winning the Universal title over Brock Lesnar due to interference by Samoa Joe. And that's how I would book the Universal Championship match at the Royal Rumble.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Because I just completely lagged I didn't hear a word you said for the last minute.
Oh, okay. Well, I just gave my story for how I would book the Royal Rumble, or the Universal Championship. So I'm gonna let you do it. Lou, how you would book the Universal Championship.
Gotta love that Skype, man. Brutal.
Yeah, gotta love.
So, my Universal title, I don't know. I really couldn't really decide on what to do with this. I actually considered keeping it off the card completely, but then I thought, they can't do a Royal Rumble without having their great Universal title on it. Brock Lesnar, oh man, such an attraction.
He is.
So I don't want to see Braun against Brock. I really don't, unless Braun's winning the title. And to me, I just don't see them going in the route of giving Braun the title. So I wouldn't want Braun to lose to Brock Lesnar. So what I decided to do was to bring in a third member, not named Kane, but somebody else that could put somebody over that's kind of part-time right now. I had a triple threat match between Braun Strowman, Brock Lesnar, and John Cena.
Oh.
I think John Cena being inputted in this match, he is a bigger guy. He's not the tallest guy in the world, but that guy is pound for pound probably the strongest guy they have in the company, and he can go with guys like Brock. We've seen that before, and I think he can go with a guy like Strowman. He could probably pick up Strowman for an AA. Mm-hmm. And I think John Cena would be the one to take the pin in this match to Brock. I would have had Cena come back a few weeks ago, maybe the first Raw of 2018, maybe have him come back and say, I won the WWE title last year at Royal Rumble. I want a chance to break the record at Royal Rumble this year after I tied the record there last year. And I would have the feud going on right now between those three. And obviously Brock is in there every week, so I could definitely see Braun and John Cena kind of pulling the weight right now for the feud as it is. And we've obviously seen John Cena being able to cut promos and make people believe in him in the past. And obviously, as a part-timer now, he doesn't really need the win. Yeah. So I think he could be the guy to still make the match credible. And, they want the casuals to get invested in it. Then we don't need fucking Kane. The guy can barely wrestle. Why don't we put John Cena in there who can still go? That will probably draw more people to the feud than to have John Cena take the pin to Brock, and then you keep Braun looking strong and not killing his momentum by having him pinned by Brock.
All right. Wow. Interesting take on the Universal Championship picture here. I like that. I really like that a lot. So that's how Corporate Cappy would book the Universal title picture. And you guys obviously heard my rendition, how I would just keep it Braun Strowman versus Brock Lesnar by taking Kane out of it and just keeping it one-on-one.
And who would win?
I had, since you missed that little part, I said Samoa Joe would interfere, costing Brock Lesnar the championship, and Braun Strowman would win the title because of all the momentum he's had going into the Royal Rumble so far.
I like Braun winning the title, but I'm going with WWE's logic and thinking we need Brock to hold on to the title as the placeholder for Roman at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But I would love to see Braun hold the title at some point, and obviously I'd love to see another Joe and Brock match too, because they had that great match at Great Balls of Fire that I think they could have done more with that feud as well.
So,
all right.
Get into the Women's Royal Rumble match. And how we are going to do this, guys, we're going to give our Final Four prediction, who we're going to be in the Final Four of the match, our surprise entrance, and then the winner of the actual Rumble match. So we'll start with the women, and I'll give my Final Four. Cobra Cap will give his Final Four. I'll give my surprise entrance. He'll give his. I'll pick my winner. He'll pick his winner. So that's what we're going to do. So for the Final Four for the Women's Royal Rumble, how I would pick it is Asuka, obviously. I have written down Paige because there was the whole thing with the retirement thing, and we don't know if it's true now. And then she's put the tweet out that 2018 is going to be her year. Everything's just on the fence. If not Paige, then Ronda Rousey, Naomi, and Sasha Banks. So Asuka, Paige, if not Paige, Ronda Rousey, Naomi, and Sasha Banks would be my Final Four for the Women's Royal Rumble match.
Ronda Rousey. So I'm guessing she's a surprise entrant.
Yes.
My Final Four is kind of 3/4 similar. I have Asuka, Sasha Banks, unbiasedly, Paige, and if the contingency on Paige, if she's actually able to wrestle or not, and if not, I would put Ruby Riott in there because I feel like one of the leaders of the two groups has to be in it with what they've been doing with the two new women's factions. Okay. I feel like at least one of the leaders has to be in there. So if Paige isn't able to go, then I'd say Ruby Riott, and then I'd put Becky Lynch as the Becky Balboa underdog being in the Final Four, surviving all the way through.
I can see her being like number 2 and then surviving all the way down, something like that.
She's gonna have to work her way. She's not gonna be the easy way out. She's gonna have to be like one or first or second entrant and just stay around in the match somehow, all the way to the Final Four.
All right, so I have Asuka, Paige, if not Ronda Rousey, Naomi, Sasha Banks. Corporate Kathy also has Asuka, Paige, if not Ruby Riott, Sasha Banks, and Becky Lynch as our Final Fours for the Women's Royal Rumble match. As for surprise entrance, obviously I have Ronda Rousey. Obviously she was in my Final Four. I have Eva Marie, just because all signs are pointing to her coming back for some reason, whatever. I have Cobra Cappy's girl Trish Stratus, 100% Stratus faction, who's now confirmed for Raw 25. Peyton Royce, Candice LeRae, who's the newly signed to WWE. Karma, Victoria, and Lay Cool, both Michelle McCool and Layla coming back in the Royal Rumble. So those are my surprise entrants for the women's Royal Rumble match.
Undertaker return confirmed because Michelle
Undertaker
McCool.
return confirmed. Get the Mark tweets out.
Where's Romina Reigns?
Yeah, Romina Reigns. No, sorry, she's not gonna be in it this year.
I definitely could see some of those coming through. Mine are a little bit less exciting, but I went down the route of WWE because they love to build us up and then disappoint us afterwards. Yeah. A few of these might be interesting, but a few of them again be like, when I hear their music, I'm just gonna want to turn away. So we'll start with the bad and end with the good. So we'll start off. For some reason, I think Nikki Bella's coming back in this match. We have heard nothing about her in the last 6 to 8
although
months.
that they're confirmed for Raw 25. That's it.
There you go. So we'll see what kind of condition Nikki's in, if her neck is good enough.
Yeah.
For some reason, I think Nikki Bella is going to be a surprise entrant because WWE's so high on Nikki Bella for whatever goddamn reason. Oh wait, John Cena. So I see Nikki Bella being one. I agree with you about Peyton Royce being a call-up from NXT. I think Billie Kay will be by her side as she comes down to the ring. I think Peyton Royce, especially because we haven't seen anything from her the last couple weeks on NXT, so maybe they completely wrote her off storyline to make her debut in the Rumble, which I think would make sense. I'd go with also another call-up from NXT, Nikki Cross. I think it would just be like a one-off type thing, but get the main roster crowd into Nikki Cross and that's her type of match right there. I mean, she's a psychopath. She can, get in there and just cause a lot of chaos. So I think Nikki Cross would be a good addition to that match, and then have her go back and finish what she's got in NXT. I think I'd have Caitlyn come back because I think that Caitlyn has been training again in ring, and I'm pretty sure she's been, working out in the Performance Center. So all signs point to Caitlyn coming back. I mean, She was pretty bad the first time she was there. Maybe she's improved somehow. I don't know.
Maybe.
She looks pretty hot with her Instagram, but again, that doesn't constitute as being a good wrestler. So see what Caitlyn can do, but we've seen her get back into the ring, and we haven't heard from her in a while. So I think Caitlyn would be probably a surprise entrant. And lastly, I think Beth Phoenix would come back for one more shot at the Women's Royal Rumble, since she was actually in the Men's Royal Rumble match one time.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of rumors surrounding Beth Phoenix might be coming back for that. So that's actually a good, quite possibility there.
And she did eliminate Great Khali by kissing him over the top rope. Which
oh man, don't remind me of that.
Yeah, Beth Phoenix newly inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. She's doing commentary for the Mixed Match Challenge, so she's kind of getting back into the company a bit. So I could definitely see them giving her, one last shot. And she's a credible woman that can, still go in the ring with all the new girls that they got. So I'd like to see what Beth Phoenix can do against all the new girls.
All right. So, my surprise entrance, Corporate Cappy's surprise entrance. Let's get right into the winner of the Women's Royal Rumble match. Obviously, I'm going to be picking the obvious choice for everybody out there, and that is Asuka. She should be winning this Royal Rumble match, let's be honest here, because of what she is and her character. I don't see WWE making her lose in the Royal Rumble, so I'd say that this would be the perfect time to have Asuka win it, get that title opportunity for WrestleMania, and have her face the champion going into WrestleMania. So I would obviously pick the obvious choice in Asuka for this pick.
Well, and it makes sense because they give her a push, but they don't put the title on her prematurely. So, they build her up to win the Rumble, but then not, win the title right away. She wins it at WrestleMania, which I think is what somebody of Asuka's caliber needs to do. She needs to get that big, first women's title win at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But my winner would be coming back for his or her debut would be James Ellsworth. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking.
Oh, my God. I actually thought you were serious there.
I'm 100% joking. I would not have James Ellsworth come back. He already won the women's Money in the Bank.
Let's be honest here. If he did, you'd fucking go nuts.
I would, but then at the same time, it'd be like, this is an embarrassment to women's wrestling. But yes, I have Asuka winning as well. I can't even front about that. It's just the obvious pick at this point. WWE could shock us, but I think Asuka really, is
watch them shock us and have Eva Marie win the Royal Rumble.
I'll be done.
I'd lose faith in any women's revolution yet.
Yeah, like I'm done with the women after that. If Eva Marie comes back and wins it, so I don't even want to think about that. Asuka is the one that needs to win this match.
All right. So we'll move into the men's Royal Rumble and the last part of how to book Royal Rumble. So we're going to the final four, and I'm actually let my co-host Corporate Cappy start with his final four in the Royal Rumble.
All right, folks, brace yourself, okay? Don't jump down my throat, but it's going to happen. You all know it's going to happen, so just accept it. Roman Reigns is going to be in the final four of the Royal Rumble. Just accept it. What are you booing about? You agree with me.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. Roman Reigns is just the guy they want to make, the guy that has to be have his hand in every single cookie jar that they do. So Roman Reigns is going to be in there. I think Finn Balor is going to be in it.
Finn Balor, yeah.
Yep. I think they got to continue the momentum with what he's got with the club, and obviously with how we would book it, the club winning the Raw tag team titles on this show. I think we'll continue the Balor club momentum. Shinsuke Nakamura, for obvious reasons of people, starting to flip out, saying, "Oh my God, maybe they're actually going to do the AJ Styles Nakamura match like we all want to see." So obviously, I'd have Nakamura in there, and then I'd have kind of surprise entrant, but not really a surprise entrant, would be Dolph Ziggler coming back.
Oh, okay.
And I would have Dolph Ziggler, be that heel that like, oh my God, please don't have him win. But then some people would be cheering for Ziggler because of, what he's been, the storyline he's been going with the last 6 months to 8 months about saying that he never gets any opportunities. He's going to take what he wants and having him vacate the U.S. title. So I could see Dolph Ziggler being a surprise entrant in the Royal Rumble and making it to the Final Four.
It's funny you say that because he's actually climbing the ranks in the betting pool for Dolph Ziggler winning the Royal Rumble for some reason. So it's an interesting pick there.
Big push coming for Dolph Ziggler.
We'll see. My final four, It's basically half the Final Four you have. So I have Shinsuke Nakamura as well for the obvious reasons that everyone wants to see that dream matchup, and I do because we're going to be there live. So I'd definitely want to see this dream matchup. So I'd want him to be in my Final Four. I also have Roman Reigns because I do agree he's going to be there regardless of what we think of him and what we think of the WWE booking and how he should be booked. He's going to be in the Final Four, so it's something that we have to deal with. I would have Elias be in the Final Four.
Walk with Elias.
Walk with Elias. He can be the snake guy to hide outside the ring the entire match, maybe sneak into the Final Four, and then I just see them getting that. Like, he's been so over with the crowd lately, with the babyface he gets, the babyface response he gets, the heel response he gets, and what he's done with his in-ring work. I believe that he should be in the Final Four of the Rumble, and it'd be a good showing for him. And he just has that kind of snaky characteristic that would hide outside the ring the entire time and come in right at the end. In my final person for the Final Four, I would have none other than John Cena, who is announced into the Royal Rumble, be in the Final Four here. And so you think Elias, Roman, John Cena, Nakamura, what a Final Four that would be. But I just see it, man. John Cena, there's all those teases of him winning the Royal Rumble, so I definitely would have him in the Final Four for this year for the Royal Rumble.
Oh, can you imagine the fans going, if Philly's going to shit all over Reigns and Cena being in the Final Four of the Rumble?
If it was those two at the last two, I'm going to turn it off. Like, I'm not watching the end of the Royal Rumble.
Well, I mean, it was Reigns and Orton last year, so that was just as bad.
Yeah, if it's Reigns and Cena, man, people are going to go nuts. They're going to start throwing shit in the ring. Like, it's going to be nuts if they do that.
Remember when they were both in the ring and they were chanting, "You both suck"? Do you remember that?
It's going to be just as bad. Like, let's hope WWE doesn't do the wrong thing here. So we'll get into the surprise entrance, and we'll start out with you, Cobra Cabby. Who are your surprise entrants for the Royal Rumble match?
Got a couple. I think you agree with me that they're gonna do something with Kurt Angle in this match, and maybe have something incorporated with Triple H. I'm not sure, but I think Kurt Angle puts himself in the Royal Rumble one last time. I think he'd get a huge pop, obviously, and we could actually see his real entrance with him coming down in his ring gear, not, the Shield gear. I think that'd be a great start to possibly a Kurt Angle feud leading up to WrestleMania with a match against somebody. Maybe he gets eliminated or eliminates somebody that leads to a match at WrestleMania. I'd have a return of Rey Mysterio.
Oh.
Not at number 30 like they did that one year and they shit all over him. The poor guy got shit all over. I'd have him, somewhere in the middle, 15, 14, something like that. And Rey Mysterio can still go. This Royal Rumble match is good for him. He's a high flyer. You do a lot of shit in there with a lot of people. Get the crowd pumped up. So I think Rey
maybe
Mysterio
see him doing something with Kofi Kingston.
Maybe
doing a spot, like a double crazy spot like that.
Or maybe he passes the torch on to the great Sin Cara, Anyways,
I think it'd be the other way around.
Well, yeah, Sin Cara is the guy you can put over somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, next I'd have a call-up from NXT, which would be a huge shock to everybody. And it would obviously be a one-off, and then maybe he goes back down and then debuts later on. But I think the main roster crowd's going to get a whiff at him, and I think we both agree that Vince definitely wants this guy in the main roster, and that's Lars Sullivan.
Yep. 100%. This guy is literally screaming Vince McMahon all over him. So I'd like to see what he can do. Maybe Braun's in the match or fucking Kane or somebody and goes and eliminates them. And then lastly, I'd have No Way Jose, because up until this week we had no idea where the hell No Way Jose was. And I feel like he would get a good reaction because of his theme song and his character and be a good NXT call-up for the Royal Rumble, just like Ty Dillinger was last year. I like it. So basically mine are all the same, except I have one addition to that. And I would have Triple H put himself into the Royal Rumble and start something with Kurt Angle. I would have Kurt Angle come in somewhere early on in the Royal Rumble, start building momentum, like eliminating people, the crowd chanting, "You still got it," and then he's waiting in the room, he's building momentum, he's like, come on, and all of a sudden the game's music hits in the next entry, and he comes out, and there's a stare down between Kurt Angle and Triple H, and they go at it, and then whether it's Kurt Angle eliminating Triple H or Triple H eliminating Kurt Angle, something like that, and then the other one gets eliminated right away after that, so that they're not sticking around in the Royal Rumble. and then that kind of triggers their feud going to WrestleMania between Kurt Angle and Triple H.
Makes 100% sense because of what happened at Survivor Series.
Yeah.
I also put a side note as this isn't really a person, but I said somebody that's coming back next week at Raw 25 will announce that they're in the Royal Rumble. It's just
somebody,
one of
Rock,
the old timers,
Undertaker, Scott Hall.
I don't know. It'll end up being like Doink the Clown or something. I don't know. But
God.
It doesn't matter if it's a jobber or a main event guy. Somebody on Raw 25
Brooklyn Brawler.
this week, sure, or his alter ego, Abe Knuckleball Schwartz. One of those guys will be at Raw 25. Will be in the Royal Rumble and announce they're in the Royal Rumble because it's the week after. It just makes sense.
Yeah. So we'll get into the winners. I picked Shinsuke Nakamura because I want the ultimate dream match between
Is this
AJ
somewhat of
Styles
a
and
biased
Nakamura.
pick?
This is a 150% biased pick here. I'm picking Shinsuke Nakamura. He's got to win it. They got to do the dream match everyone wants to because they're just going to shit on it if it's not going to be Shinsuke Nakamura. They've done this too many times where they always say we listen to the fans and we give the fans what they want. Well, for fuck's sakes, whenever the Royal Rumble comes around, you never listen to what the fans want. How about you do something and do us all a favor, WWE, and give us what we want and give us Shinsuke Nakamura for the winner of the Royal Rumble. So I'm picking Nakamura for this.
They give us like these part-timers like Triple H, Batista, Randy Orton. Like, pick some new people.
Yep.
Roman Reigns. Like, the same fucking people over and over again. Like, they wonder why they can't build up new main event stars because they don't let them win big matches like this, and they continue to give us the same people.
So that's why I'm picking Shinsuke Nakamura, whatever.
Nakamura, if Psycho Sid was here.
Yeah.
I'm also going to go with somebody new, somebody fresh, not same four people over and over again. I'm going to pick, going off of what I said earlier about gaining momentum with the club, I'm going with Finn Balor winning the Royal Rumble.
Finn Balor.
Sorry. But yes, Finn Balor, I think that the club really needs to, assert their dominance at this pay-per-view. I really would love to see the club win the tag team titles, have Finn Balor win the Royal Rumble, and then have Balor, if they want to turn him heel, because, like, how could you not have this faction as a heel faction? To me, like, them as a babyface just makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
So have Finn Balor go up against whoever's the Universal title or title holder at WrestleMania, or maybe he, goes after AJ Styles on SmackDown, and maybe the club goes and invades SmackDown, and you have Balor club, like the one leader of the club versus a former leader of the club in AJ Styles. I think that would be a great dynamic, having Styles and Balor go at it as former leaders of the faction.
I like that.
And so I would probably book that instead of having Finn go and job to Roman Reigns or fucking Brock Lesnar. But yeah, I think Finn Balor needs a big win here because the guy never even got his rematch for the Universal title. I think he needs to do something significant right now, and with the club, all three of them need to be elevated here at this pay-per-view and go on to big things. So I have Finn Balor winning the Men's Royal Rumble match.
All right, I like that. So, ladies and gentlemen,
We need new people.
We do need new people.
You
None of
can't
this Kane. Stop bringing back Kane. Stop bringing back Big Show. Stop bringing back the Great Khali. Stop bringing back all these goons.
Not even just bringing them back. You have the same four guys winning the Rumble every year.
Yep.
And we see what happened. Randy Orton won the Rumble last year, and it turned out to be the worst match of the year against Bray Wyatt. There you go. That's why you need new guys winning the Rumble.
So we hope they do it we hope they do it this year. So it looks like Royal Rumble is certainly shaping out to be an interesting one this year with two Royal Rumble matches itself. And that's how we would book the Royal Rumble, ladies and gentlemen. If you go back and listen to what we've done with the pre-show, both tag team, US, IC, WWE World, Universal Men's and Women's Royal Rumble matches. We hope you enjoyed this episode, guys. Again, there's going to be another one, a follow-up one, a special edition one, how we would book the road to WrestleMania from now until WrestleMania. So stay tuned for that. That'll be coming up in the upcoming week. So that'll be a big one. I'm really excited for that one. Other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. Make sure you tune into the Lowdown Show every Wednesday or Thursday night where we review NXT. You can go check out this past week's episode. It was definitely a interesting one where we had some creative differences with the booking of NXT this week, something that we don't really say much often here on the podcast. And hopefully some more 2K tournaments. You know, you guys all love those out there. So hopefully they're coming out soon. I'll see when I get better from this horrendous cold that I've been under. So I think that's it for me. Anything you want to add there, Corporate Cappy?
Not really, except don't like the women's Royal Rumble match being 30 women. Should have been 20. And it shouldn't have been based around Stephanie McMahon and this politically driven bullcrap.
Yep. I 100% agree, and I hope you guys agree out there. Let us know in the comment below. Tweet at us. Let us know your reactions to how we booked the Rumble this year and how actually you would book the Royal Rumble. We always love your opinions out there and talk about your opinions, so let us know down in the comments on YouTube or at Twitter at NoHoldsBarredWP. So other than that, guys, that's going to wrap it up.